World War II was the bloodiest, deadliest war the world has ever seen. More than 38 million people died, many of them innocent civilians. Fighting raged in many parts of the world. More than 50 nations took part in the war, which changed the world forever. World War II began because of the end of World War I. Germany and its allies had been the losers in World War I. The peace treaty that ended the war, the Treaty of Versailles, forced Germany to pay for the destruction they caused. They owed $33 billion. Germany also lost 1/6 of the territory that it used to have before the war. All of this caused Germany to suffer from high unemployment. German money became worthless. Germans were very angry at the peace treaty. In the early 1930s, the world was hit by an economic depression. Workers lost their jobs, trade fell off, and times were really hard. People looked for leaders who could bring about change all over the world. Germany, Italy, and Japan all came under the rule of dictators, or military leaders. A dictator named Mussolini took power in Italy in 1922. Military leaders took control of Japan in the early 1930s. In Germany, Adolf Hitler, leader of the Nazi Party, gained power in 1933. These leaders promised to restore their countries to greatness, but they set up totalitarian government. This kind of government is controlled by one single political party, and there's no opposition. And this means the government tightly controls people's lives. Hitler began to arm Germany for war. Japan invaded China, and Mussolini sent Italian troops to conquer Ethiopia in Africa. None of the rest of the world did anything to stop them. Hitler had a plan to conquer Europe. He began by taking Austria, then Czechoslovakia. Again, no one tried to stop him. In 1939, German troops, led by Adolf Hitler, invaded Poland. World War II in Europe had begun. The Allied powers of the United States, the Soviet Union, Great Britain, and France were against the Axis powers of Japan, Italy, and Germany. The U.S. did not enter the war until December of 1941, but once it did, it took a leadership role. The United States didn't enter World War II until the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Germany surrendered on May 7, 1945, ending the war in Europe. The war between the U.S. and Japan kept going until after the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. This was the only time atomic bombs were used in a war. Japan surrendered on August 14, 1945. Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had led the U.S. in wartime, did not live to see peace. But in a speech written but never delivered, he spoke of the need to preserve peace. Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "Today we are faced with the preeminent fact that if civilization is to survive, we must cultivate the science of human relationships, the ability of all peoples, of all kinds, to live together and work together in the same world at peace."